these years ago. Kanye knows what happened to his mother. I wish he would tell the truth about it. And now he's saying, my mother was sacrificed.
My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. His son, you're out in Hollywood. A lot of people come up missing. Never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
Kanye West just blew up the internet again. He dropped shocking details about what really went down with TK Carter, the man found dead in his own home under mysterious circumstances. While official reports state no foul play, online discussions have raised questions regarding the circumstances surrounding the event. And trust Kanye to spill the truth when nobody else will. The wild part? Just days before TK's death, he was reportedly planning to call out the industry. And then suddenly he's gone? That timing is way too suspicious. But before diving deeper into the madness, let's back up and talk about what the industry supposedly did to TK in the first place. His story goes way back to when he played Gary McCullough in the HBO Max limited series, The Corner. Gary was once a proud, middle-class family man with a solid career, a nice Mercedes, and a beautiful home, until addiction tore his world apart. For several years, he faced intense personal battles with addiction that deeply impacted his life, career, family, and self-worth, leaving him scavenging for scrap just to survive. The show turned into a massive hit, but it came with a dark price for TK. He wasn't just acting for a paycheck, he was living that pain for real. Behind the scenes, TK was battling a serious substance addiction, and the industry knew it. They used his real-life struggles to fuel their show, squeezing every ounce of emotion out of him just to make it feel authentic. And yeah, it worked. But it broke him.
I think the autopsy speaks for itself. Period.
You know, Larry, if I can jump in here for 1 second, one of the things that I wanted to address here today is you can say things about me, I can say things about you, and people can say things about each other out on the street. But Dr. Adams is a physician, and because he's a physician, he's in a position where he is not able to comment on any care or any discussions that he's had with any of his patients, including
TK was showing up to set every day fighting his demons while everyone around him pretended not to see it. As long as he delivered powerful scenes, nobody cared about what it was doing to him inside. TK was remarkably transparent about his journey toward recovery and the challenges he faced. In one interview, he even called it his party problem. But that so-called party had already wrecked his life. He'd been arrested multiple times in the 90s for related incidents, lost his father to a similar struggle, and buried close friends because of the same addiction. Knowing all that, the producers still thought it was smart to hand him that role? That's just cruel. TK once said that by the time he auditioned for that role, he had already conquered his demons. But nobody in the industry believed him. They looked at him like he was still lost in the chaos. TK said, "I just totally felt for Gary," admitting that he related deeply to the pain behind the character. He said, "I've had problems and addiction. I lost my father to a related death. I've lost a lot of friends. I was fortunate to come out on the other side and get my life together, but I haven't forgotten." He carried that pain with him every day on set.
Well, I told you Tom Brady and shit, looking like Justin Bieber.
I kept Gary with me all the time. I slept Gary. I breathed Gary. That's how real it was for him. He even shared that his only brother passed in 1993 from AIDS and said, he was a junkie. His sister was fighting her own recovery battle too. TK explained how he'd spent tens of thousands trying to help his family, getting manipulated, heartbroken, and watching them destroy themselves. He said, "They nearly killed my mother." Director Charles Dutton even recalled TK's raw honesty, while David Simon said, "If we don't show the humanity and survival of these people, then we're just looking at a train wreck. And what's the point of that?" But here's the crazy part. Even after pouring his real trauma into that performance and helping the show win awards, TK's career didn't blow up. After everything he gave, Hollywood just left him right where he started. Forgotten again. Even though the movie got critical praise and major recognition, TK didn't see the same success for himself. After all that talent and raw emotion he gave, all he got in return were a few small roles here and there, some quick guest spots, a little voice acting, and that's it. Meanwhile, other black stars like Eddie Murphy and Steve Harvey were taking off, stacking millions, and becoming household names. At first, TK thought maybe he just wasn't working hard enough or picking the right projects. But after years in the game, he started to realize the truth. It wasn't about his grind. It was about what he refused to do.
Yeah, I just lost my wife to cancer and was with her for 15 years. So I was just telling Trey, man, I said it comes to the point for my wife was battling for 8 years. Was got diagnosed. So for 8 years, I had to balance creativity, okay?
TK wasn't willing to sell his soul, and that's something Hollywood never forgives. He stayed true to his faith, always giving glory to God even when his career was at its peak. And let's be real, that made him stand out. He was talking about God while others just pretended to be spiritual for the cameras. Like TK once said, the math ain't mathing. Even though he never came out and said, "I'm done," fans could tell something changed. After his last big appearance on that ABC show, TK quietly stepped back from the spotlight like he'd had enough of all the industry games. Back in 2023, TK had gone completely quiet. No interviews, no new projects, nothing. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, news breaks that he was found dead in his home, totally alone. According to reports, Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies discovered his body during a welfare check at his house in Duarte, California, around 5:42 p.m. The moment the story hit the internet, everyone started side-eyeing the situation hard. One shocked fan wrote, "Okay, this whole TK Carter thing just threw me all the way off. He was found dead at a wellness check and this brother wasn't that old. Granted, he'd been acting since before I was born, but not that long ago. He wasn't old like that. How could such a talent have been discovered dead after a wellness check?" Another added, "That doesn't add up to me. How could an actor at his level of success have been alone and had to be found because someone called in a wellness check on him? That's insane to me." And once the internet caught wind of all this, you already know what happened next. People started digging like detectives. Within hours, fans were connecting dots, pulling up old interviews and putting together wild theories about what might have really happened. Everything started coming together so fast that even people who hadn't thought about TK in years were suddenly saying, "Wait a minute, something's not right here."
It was the hardest work I've ever done in my life. Now, here's what's the kicker about it, right? And I ain't gonna name some names. It was some very big black actors were hearing them dailies come, "Man, I hear TK Carter's, man, he's..." So now the comedy dude who you thought was comedy, always serious actor too, now he gets the opportunity to go to another level. And this is where I say, if your preparation is together, anybody can give you any project or script and you're gonna kill it.
Now here's where things get wild. Kanye never directly spoke about TK's death, but somehow his name got pulled right into the chaos. Investigators started connecting dots between Kanye's old statements and TK's situation. And suddenly everyone online was saying, "Hold up! What's Kanye got to do with this?" See, if you remember, Kanye once went on a fiery rant where he name-dropped Beyonce, Jay-Z, Shaq, and LeBron James, calling them out as part of the so-called group of celebrities who sold their soul. But that wasn't the first time he dropped something shocking like that. Back in a 2015 interview with Q magazine, Kanye was asked what he had to give up for fame, and he didn't hold back. He said straight up, "My mom. If I had never moved to LA, she'd be alive. I don't want to go too far into it because it will bring me to tears." That confession hit hard. At the time, his mother, Donda West, had passed away due to complications after multiple plastic surgeries. But ever since then, people have been whispering that her death wasn't as simple as it seemed. Fans believe she might have been set up, And honestly, they've got their reasons. The surgeon who operated on Donda, Dr. Jan Adams, already had a sketchy record. Reports said he'd botched previous procedures and had been in court for 2 serious malpractice cases. The Medical Board of California was even discussing pulling his license, but somehow he was still allowed to perform Donda's surgery. It's no wonder people think something deeper was going on. They literally let a man with that kind of record operate on Kanye's own mother. Dr. Jan Adams later went on Inside Edition to defend himself again, denying any wrongdoing in Donda's death. But this time, he dropped some explosive new details about what really went down.
Her nurse wasn't there. Her nurse was gone to a baby shower rather than taking care of her aunt.
According to Dr. John, Donda was supposed to be cared for after her surgery by Kanye's cousin, Stephen Coggins, who was a registered nurse. But here's where it gets messy. Instead of properly looking after her, Dr. Jan claimed Stephen loaded her up with painkillers to keep her asleep while he went off to a baby shower. Can you believe that? But Stephen wasn't having any of it. He fired back hard, saying Dr. Adams was just trying to shift blame. Stephen even pulled out receipts, showing emails he exchanged with Donda the night before she passed away, supposedly proving he was checking in on her. The back and forth between these two just made the whole story sound even darker, and people started wondering who was really telling the truth. After that chaos, things took an even darker turn. Kanye started getting death threats from people tied to powerful Hollywood circles, and instead of hiding it, he posted the messages online for the world to see. He basically said, "If anything happens to me, y'all know who did it." That move alone sent shockwaves through social media.
Did the autopsy clear you of any involvement, do you think, in her death?
One of those messages came from Harley Pasternak, Kanye's former trainer, and it sounded wild. Harley wrote, "I'm going to help you in one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use curse words, and everything that is discussed is based on fact and not some crazy stuff that a dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same." Did you catch that? He literally said, institutionalized again. That word, again, raised major eyebrows because it pointed straight back to what happened in 2016 when Kanye was suddenly arrested and taken to a mental hospital for evaluation, reportedly without even agreeing to it. And get this, that arrest supposedly went down right at Harley Pasternak's house. Like, how does that even happen? It's hard not to question what's really going on when powerful people start threatening someone just for speaking out. Because honestly, if Kanye wasn't exposing something real, would they really be going this far to silence him?
Her caregivers gave her, 20 Vicodin tabs in less than 20 hours.
Now, people can't help but wonder if TK Carter's mysterious death might somehow be tied to the same dark forces Kanye's been calling out, because the timing and the silence around it all just feel too strange to ignore. And here's where things get even more chilling. Not long after Kanye started exposing those industry secrets, people online began connecting his claims to what happened to TK Carter. Fans started saying TK might have been trying to back Kanye up, or maybe even expose something similar before he passed. Suddenly, both their names were being whispered together in every conspiracy thread out there. Some users online pointed out that TK had been talking about fake friends in powerful places, not long before his death. Others dug up old clips where he mentioned feeling watched, and said people were trying to keep him from speaking out. One post even claimed, TK tried to warn us. They silence anyone who talks too much. And that comment blew up overnight.
Lady shouldn't be dead. All you had to do is sit her up. And every nurse on the planet knows that.
Meanwhile, people who had worked with TK before started hinting that he had been acting strange the last few weeks. Not in a paranoid way, but like he knew something was about to happen. He reportedly told a close friend he was done keeping secrets and wanted to finally say what needed to be said. That was just days before he was found dead. And what's wild is how quickly everything got quiet after that. No major outlets covered the case for long, no follow-up reports, nothing. Just silence. Fans kept asking, "Where's the investigation? Where's the truth?" But it's like the story got buried overnight. Now the internet's buzzing with theories. Did TK really pass away naturally? Or was he another victim of the same dark system Kanye's been calling out? Because if there's one thing people are sure of, it's that both men were fearless enough to speak on things others wouldn't dare touch. And that's exactly what makes their story so haunting. After all this, people can't stop asking, who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes? The deeper fans dig, the more twisted it all looks. Some think TK Carter stumbled onto something major about the entertainment world, something that certain people didn't want out there. And when Kanye started talking about those same industry secrets, it's like everything started connecting in ways that feel way too real to ignore. Social media's been going wild with comparisons, saying TK's story sounds eerily similar to other celebs who suddenly passed away after going against the system. Folks are naming artists, actors, and producers who all had that same pattern. Speak out, get silenced, and then vanish from the spotlight or worse. One viral comment said, "Every time someone tries to wake people up, they end up gone. It's the same playbook every time." And while some people say it's all just coincidence, others aren't buying that. Too many lives have ended mysteriously for this to be brushed off. Fans are demanding the truth about what really happened to TK. No cover-ups, no excuses. They want the autopsy reports made public, the police statements reviewed, and every detail put on record. Meanwhile, Kanye hasn't said a single word about TK's death directly, but his fans are convinced he knows something. They're watching his every move, waiting for him to drop another hint or post that confirms their suspicions. Because if history's shown us anything, Kanye never stays quiet for long. At this point, one thing's clear. Whatever's happening in Hollywood goes way deeper than anyone wants to admit. TK Carter's death might have just cracked open another piece of that puzzle, and people are watching closer than ever now, refusing to let this story fade away. People are definitely suspicious about TK Carter's death, and it doesn't look like they're letting go of the theories anytime soon. The internet's been buzzing nonstop, and fans are refusing to just accept the official story. Everyone's got their own take, and the comments keep flooding in. One person wrote, "Damn man, everything he ever played on, he was the truth. Saved by the Bell, Family Matters, Gary on the Corner. Literally everything he touched was gold." Another fan shared something heartbreaking, saying, "He lost his wife a year ago. Maybe it was a broken heart. Rest in peace, TK Carter, a legend forever." But the real question hanging in the air right now is, what really happened? Was TK just another Hollywood tragedy, or was there something deeper behind his sudden death? And what about Kanye? Did he risk everything by putting the truth out there for everyone to see? Because if he's right about the industry, then maybe TK's story isn't just another coincidence. Maybe it's a warning. People want answers, and they're not stopping until they get them. The streets are talking, the internet's connecting dots, and fans everywhere are saying the same thing. Something doesn't add up. So now, I want to hear from you. What do you really think about all of this? Was Kanye right to expose the truth? And do you believe TK's death was planned or just tragic timing? Drop your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm reading everything. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment to keep this conversation alive. Hit that button and stick around, because the next story coming up, it's even messier than this one.